Coming up on the February 10th edition of Sports Extra, it's arguably the biggest rivalry game in college athletics, and it's finally here. We preview Wednesday's basketball game against Duke.
And speaking of finally here, baseball's back and the Diamond Heels are returning to the field this Friday. We look at the season ahead.
And she's one of the most consistent athletes on the UNC gymnastics team and is tumbling over all the competition. All that and more.
Sports Extra starts right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics, this is Sports Extra.
As sports enthusiasts, we're at an exciting crossroad. Winter sports are at their climax, and spring sports are just beginning. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Kate Eastman.
And I'm Paige Comparado. Several UNC teams kicked off their seasons this week, but for Tar Heel fans, there's always one squad in the spotlight, the men's basketball team. Don't look now, but the Tar Heels are climbing their way back up the ACC ladder. After a 1-4 start, the Heels have strung together 5 straight wins, including an impressive 73-62 win against Notre Dame on Saturday. Another Tar Heel win, and guess what? Another standout performance from the dynamic duo of Marcus Paige and James Michael McAdoo. Paige and McAdoo combined for 34 points, but sophomore JP Tokoto stole the show with his stat sheet stuffing 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 14 steals. Tokoto logged 11 steals in the past 3 games and is good for at least one highlight-worthy dunk, like this one right here, every time he takes the floor. ESPN Top 10 right there.
With 5 straight ACC wins, the Tar Heels have catapulted from last to 4th in the conference standings and are primed for a Wednesday night showdown with the Duke Blue Devils. Ryan O'Rourke gives us a sneak peek into what Tar Heel fans can expect in this year's historic rivalry matchup.
The rivalry speaks for itself. Carolina and Duke, Roy and Coach K. Wednesday night at the Smith Center will mark another riveting chapter in the Tobacco Road rivalry that has left the Dean Dome crowd sometimes in elation and sometimes in disbelief. The Blue Devils come into Chapel Hill with recent history on their side, winning 7 of the past 8 matchups between the schools. But both teams come into Wednesday night's showdown with 2014 campaigns that have been riddled with inconsistency. Coach K's squad has leaned on freshman Jabari Parker and sophomore Rodney Hood to lead the way, as the two are averaging a combined 35 points per game. But the Heels have a pair of stars in their corner as well, as Marcus Paige and James Michael McAdoo have saved UNC's season from spiraling into oblivion. A win against the 8th-ranked Blue Devils would give the Heels their 4th win against ranked opponents this season, and perhaps provide the momentum needed for a late-season push. Can the Heels exploit Duke's inexperienced big men down low? Or will the Blue Devils sharpshooters leave the Dean Dome crowd speechless yet again? Carolina vs. Duke, in prime time on Wednesday night. Are you ready for the thrill? In Chapel Hill, I'm Ryan O'Rourke reporting.
So we all know about the fierce Tobacco Road basketball rivalry.
But Ali Massione tells us about a lesser-known tradition between Duke and UNC.
What's it like to play Duke?
It gets really heated up there.
And it is intense.
It's the best.
No, they're not talking about the game millions across the country watch. They're talking about the UNC Duke Managers Game, a tradition men's basketball video coordinator Eric Hoots has started when he was a student at Carolina.
They had 20 minutes on the clock, and we were like, well, we're in over our heads here.
Since that first game at Cameron Indoor Stadium, the student managers from UNC and Duke have faced off twice a year, once at the Dean Dome, once at Cameron Indoor, the night before each varsity game. And as in any great rivalry, there's painful defeat and sweet redemption, like last year's second matchup. With 6 seconds left and a clear 11-point victory in hand for UNC, one of Duke's managers strips the ball from varsity manager Mary Ellen Weiland.
And the gym is just booing like crazy because he stole the ball from a girl.
But no one expected what happened next.
One of our other managers just ran down the court and he just tackled him to the ground and the gym went crazy.
Something every Carolina fan could only dream of doing. And although Hoot says beating Duke never gets old.
Oh, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're playing checkers or whatever. Anytime you beat those guys, it feels great.
Last year's win felt just a little bit sweeter than most. In Chapel Hill, I'm Ali Massione.
The managers face Duke Tuesday night at the Smith Center, but Associate Athletics Director Matt Bowers says the game is closed to the public.
And there's one more UNC team taking the hard court against the Blue Devils this week. Madison Way joins us live at Cameron Indoor Stadium on the Duke campus.
I'm here in Durham where the Cameron Crazies are already lined up behind me, getting ready for the men's game that happens here next month. But tonight, it's the UNC ladies who come to take on number 3 Duke at 7 p.m. Now, Duke's beaten UNC in the last 5 of the team's meetings, but this year, UNC has a pretty good chance, despite some February stumbles. North Carolina is young and on a losing streak. 3 of the consistent starters are freshmen, and the team has lost its past 3 games. Winning in Cameron won't be easy, but it will be necessary if the Tar Heels want to turn their season around. UNC relies on freshman Diamond DeShields. She averages 24.8 points a game and has picked up a team-high 121 rebounds this season. Fellow freshman guard Alicia Gray is right there with DeShields, averaging 24.2 points per game with 120 rebounds. On paper, the duo should be able to compete against the Blue Devils, but they're young, and a young team presents some problems. Together, the two combined for a 4th of UNC's total turnovers and have racked up 107 personal fouls. It will take increased maturity and consistent output from these two and the rest of the team if UNC plans to leave Durham with a W later tonight. Of course, there's one other freshman you can't count out, and that's Stephanie Mavunga. She hasn't started in the past UNC games, but she provides both power and patience in the post, something UNC will need if they hope to bring a win home later tonight.
That's Madison Way, live at Cameron Indoor Arena. Thanks, Madison.
Well, you're familiar with the saying, always a bridesmaid, never the bride. Hayden Jones tells us that the Carolina baseball team is eager to finally get rid of that perception of their program.
The Tar Heels have 13 freshmen this season who have huge shoes to fill. Sophomore infielder Landon Lassiter believes they have what it takes.
I think they're really confident. I mean, they're playing. They don't look scared at all. I mean, they're ready to play. I think they're ready to help us become another national contender again and try to get back to Omaha.
Junior Benton Moss, sophomore Trent Thornton, and freshman Zach Gallen will make up the rotation this weekend. Although the Diamond Heels lost a lot of key players, sophomore superstar Skye Bolt believes they're better than people are giving them credit for.
It's time for us to have fun. We're going to go out there and prove ourselves. We're going to be a lot better than a lot of people are giving us credit for. And, you know, it brings it back to the young guys. I think 2 or 3 of us stepped up last year, and we're going to ask the same thing out of this new freshman group.
The Tar Heels were ranked 17th in Baseball America's preseason rankings. Coach Mike Fox said the team has more speed but less power than last year. Junior Michael Russell is stepping up to the plate and will lead the infield this year.
Michael Russell, I think, from a position player standpoint, is kind of the heart and soul of our, of our team. Played for 2 years and a junior and one of our hardest workers. So I think everybody sort of looks to him, creates some energy.
The Diamond Heels are hoping this is the year they'll finally bring back a national championship to Chapel Hill.
You get so close just to knocking on the door, and you just can't, and nobody comes to answer. So I think that's another thing working for us this year is, a lot of us have tasted that and we want more.
They should get off to a quick start. The Tar Heels will open the season with 16 consecutive home games. In Chapel Hill, I'm Hayden Jones reporting.
Skye Bolt was an important player for last year's Diamond Heels team, batting 4th in the rotation as just a freshman. He joins us now in the studio. Skye, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, so both you and Trent Thornton played with the U.S. national team this summer. What can you take from that experience and apply to this season?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I learned while we were overseas and playing with this spectacular group of guys was that although an individual sport at the point of most climax, baseball is a team sport. I played and had the honor to play with 40 of the most talented guys around the country, and the biggest thing that I learned was that it's a team sport, and the fact that all these individual talents amount to nothing if we can't play together, and that's what we faced a little bit this summer when we had some adversity with the U.S. national team.
So personally, how do you feel that you've changed as a player since your freshman season?
Definitely. Since my freshman season, I feel that I've developed a little more patience as far as my teammates and how to handle my teammates, especially some of the younger guys, being an older guy this year. And success came for me pretty easily, and I thank God for that. But I realize that these guys are going to struggle a little bit as we come out the gates, and that's something that I've got to be there for them and just got to be patient with them and try to guide them along the way.
So there's been a Twitter countdown I've seen, going for the last 40 days until opening day. Is there anticipation picking up in practice as opening day gets closer?
Yeah, you can definitely feel it in the locker room. It's itchy, and we're all excited to get out there. We're definitely ready to get out there, but when we're out on the field, I feel like it's the same tempo, it's the same game, and I'm really impressed with the younger guys. They've taken the same strides, and they really haven't changed much as far as their preparation. And that's something that I can't preach to them enough, is that we got to continue to take each day in stride. And when the season gets here, it's going to be the same game that we've been playing for since the beginning of time.
So can you give us a 60-second scouting report on the freshman talent?
Yes, Joe Dudek, big, swinging, left-handed first baseman, a lot of power. Should help us out in the middle of the lineup this year. Wood Myers, second baseman, going to get the opportunity to start. Speed. A lot of contact up at the plate, and he's going to be a real help in the middle of the infield.
All right, well, thanks, Skye. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Skye Bolt live with us here in the main studio.
When you won a national championship, how much better can it get? Well, these defense champs show that they have a lot left in them. Next on Sports Extra.
Connect with us online by liking the Sports Extra Facebook page and following us on Twitter @SportsExtra_UNC.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere will bring us wireless emergency alerts. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes out the bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
It's almost springtime in Chapel Hill, which means the women's lacrosse team is ready to defend its national title.
Brett Thompson previews the Lady Tar Heels 2014 season.
The last time we saw UNC women's lacrosse, the team swam in confetti, celebrating the program's first national championship. Now, the team looks to carry last year's momentum into a brand new season. In recent years, the Tar Heels have flown under the radar at the start of the season despite inching closer to a national championship. However, Coach Levy says that won't change anything in how the team prepares for the 2014 campaign.
Every year our goal is to be the best team, but that's just not on the field, but it's off the field as well. You know, we define success in a lot of different ways here at Carolina, and obviously winning on the field is one of them, but doing well in the classroom, giving back in the community, and being a good team is also part of what we define as success.
A major part of the team's strength is the experience it returns from last year.
We're solid throughout the entire field. Our defense, we're returning everybody. We're returning everyone on attack too, and then we have a little bit younger midfield, but they've really stepped up throughout the preseason.
The benefit of coming into our program really is it's a lot about you know, my upperclassmen do such a good job of being leaders and showing them the way.
The Heels look to utilize this mixture of youth and experience to play a fast, aggressive style that will excite Carolina fans throughout the season.
We're really fun to watch. Our attack is great. They're really just creative in what they do, and I think just the way we play as a unit together is really fun to watch.
With high expectations and an up-tempo team, there's once again a championship buzz at Carolina. In Chapel Hill, I'm Brett Thompson reporting.
The UNC women's lacrosse team opened this year's campaign in a dominating fashion as the Heels took the number 4 ranked Florida at home on Saturday afternoon. Freshman Sydney Holman and senior Abby Friend were instrumental in Carolina's 20-8 win, pacing the Tar Heels with 5 goals and 2 assists each. Sophomore goalie Megan Ward also played a key role on defense, making 9 saves. But perhaps where the team excelled the most was in ball possession. The Heels captured 18 draws, the Gators 12, and outshot Florida 41-24. Carolina scored 8 goals in the final 13 minutes, and following the game, senior Abby Friend chimed in about the Heels' win.
Being able to beat a team like Florida by as many as we did, I don't even know what the score was, but being able to really come in and prove how hard we've worked in the offseason was a big thing that we wanted to do, and I think this is a great first game to get us rolling for the rest of the year.
The men's lacrosse team started its season this weekend with success similar to what the women's team enjoyed. UNC took a lead against Furman early when freshman Shane Simpson scored this goal in the 5th minute, and UNC kept firing, scoring 8 points in the first half, like this quick put away from senior TJ Kemp. North Carolina suffocated Furman at the center X, taking 16 of 25 faceoffs. Keeping offensive possession led to a 19-3 Carolina victory.
Saturday was bittersweet for the men's fencing team as the Heels competed at the Duke home meet. The Heels went 3-2 on the weekend. After beating MIT 17-10, UNC suffered 2 consecutive losses. Brandeis beat Carolina 17-10, and the Blue Devils beat the Heels 19-8, a result the UNC coaching staff didn't expect. In the second half of the meet, though, the Heels showed no mercies against Johns Hopkins with an 18-9 victory and won an exciting last match against Air Force with a 15-12 tight result. Coach Ron Miller explained that the loss to Duke by saying the Sabre team had an uncharacteristically bad outing.
The biggest difference for us is our men's Sabre team, which has been dominant all year, just didn't perform that well today. Men's épée has always been up and down. They were a little down in that meet.
The team competes at the Junior Olympic Championships in Oregon this Friday.
This runner is taking off on the runway,
and we'll explain when Sports Extra returns.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Look at me, hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
From the track to the catwalk, one Tar Heel is striking a pose. Junior track athlete Corey Floyd balances running with modeling.
So which came first, the spikes or the heels? Well, Kylie McCoy brings us the story.
When Corey Floyd isn't sprinting down the Carolina Blue runway, she's strutting down a different one. In September, organizers chose Floyd to walk in Charlotte Fashion Week. It was her first time modeling.
From as far back as I can remember, I've always been told that I should be a model or I should try it. And I'd always been like, no, I shouldn't do it. You know, I don't think I'm cut out for it. So this past summer, I got those compliments again, and I was just like, I need to try this.
Although many people might think track and modeling have nothing in common, Floyd says they both get her heart pumping.
It's a different kind of adrenaline in a sense, but I really came to realize that it had the same rush that track had, honestly. Before I went out onto the runway, I was just as nervous as I was like if I was going to be doing a 400.
Whether she's putting on the Carolina Blue uniform or the designer dress, Floyd says it's all about overcoming the challenge.
Just another way for me to kind of conquer something new, and it's something that I didn't think I could do.
Floyd plans to look for more opportunities to model in the future. In the meantime, sprinting down the last stretch of the 400 is all the adrenaline rush she needs. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kylie McCoy reporting.
This weekend, Floyd competed in the 400-meter dash at the Armory Collegiate Invitational in New York City. She placed 35th in a competitive field of 95 runners.
The men's tennis team defeated TCU 4-3 Sunday. A rocky start had the whole team on edge. For the first time this year, the Tar Heels lost the doubles point. Freshman Ronnie Schneider kept UNC in it by winning his singles match. Nationally ranked number 36 Brett Clark of UNC ended his 3-match losing streak and won his singles as well. Freshman Braden Schnurr scored the tie-breaking point of the match. Schnurr went 6-1 and 3-6 in the first 2 sets, but went on to defeat number 84 Nick Chappelle in the 3rd set, 6-3. Carolina Olympic sports teams stayed busy during the weekend, participating in various competitions against non-conference teams. The 3rd-ranked North Carolina women's tennis team swept up number 4 Georgia by a 4-3 count in Charlottesville, Virginia Sunday. Number 2 Jamie Law won at number 1 in singles play in a 3rd set tiebreaker. North Carolina comfortably won the doubles point. Carolina softball completed its run in at the Louisiana Classic on Saturday. The Heels won 3-2 against Purdue, but lost 6-5 to number 13 Louisiana. Tar Heel gymnastics wrapped up competition at the Chicago Style Invitational on Friday night and came away in 3rd place. It was the squad's lowest score of the season.
Well, despite the UNC gymnastics team's most recent fall, there's one team member who we all know will help pick the Tar Heels back up. Ashani Edwards has the story.
The 2014 season for Tar Heel Gymnastics has been fairly solid so far, with wins at home against NC State, Maryland, and Pittsburgh. One key contributor to their solid start is junior all-around Haley Watts. Prior to coming to UNC, the Charlotte native was already a top gymnast who often qualified and placed in the Junior Olympic National Championships. Fast forward to 2014. Coach Derek Galvin says Haley has definitely made her mark in Carolina's gymnastics program.
The most impressive aspect of her training and competition is that it's very even. She's a very consistent competitor mentally. Every meet she's completely invested mentally, and I think that's the measure of a really great athlete.
According to GoHeels.com, Haley is one of the most consistent performers on the team, but you'd actually have to see it to believe it.
Since her sophomore season, Haley has routinely led the Tar Heels. Although she succeeds in keeping her balance on the beam and remains graceful in the air, she has to fight through the pressures of her sport.
Well, there's always like the issue of injuries, and that can be a hard time. And then also, sometimes it's difficult to balance school and gymnastics as well, so.
After college, she plans to become a school teacher. According to Galvin, her teammates admire and respect her and think she'll stick her landing in the classroom.
Haley is very supportive of her teammates. I mean, everybody on the team has a tremendous amount of respect for her. They admire who she is as a person.
In Chapel Hill reporting, I'm Ishani Edwards.
Haley and the Tar Heels will compete at NC State in the Sweetheart Invitational this Saturday.
The swimming and diving teams returned to Corey Natatorium Saturday and capped their regular season on a high note on both the men's and women's sides. UNC went up against the College of Charleston in the final dual meet of the season. From start to finish, the Tar Heels dominated the Cougars and took first place in most of the events. Kelly Korish recorded 2 wins in the 1 and 3 meter springboard, and Ben Mays won the 200-yard breaststroke. The UNC women beat Charleston 166 to 121, finishing the season 10-2. The Tar Heel men won 180 to 75 to finish with a record of 8-2. Senior Alex Giannino says he hopes for team success at this year's ACC tournament.
We haven't won ACC since I think like '87 or something like that, so we're going for trying to win the title, bring home some rings.
Both the Tar Heel men and women have the Atlantic Coast Conference Championships coming up. Members of this UNC club are tying up their belts and getting ready to compete.
We introduce you to a team that's kicking butt next on Sports Extra.
Our sister shows, Carolina Week at 5 p.m. every Wednesday on Time Warner 24 or Campus Channel 34, and Carolina Connection at 8:30 every Saturday morning on WCHL 97.9 FM.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere will bring us wireless emergency alerts. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
A full life measured in seats starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science. After that, I'm going to get my law degree. Then I'm going to come back to Detroit, boost the economy, become the mayor or something, try to make the situation better for other people. I feel like I owe it to the city. I'm determined. It's gonna happen. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
There's 50 sports clubs here at UNC, and 5 of them involve martial arts.
Reporter Delia D'Ambra introduces us to one of the 2 teams and events recognized as Olympic sports.
It's loud, it's fast, and it's strenuous. According to senior member Matthew Fay, Club Taekwondo has lots of benefits.
It teaches hard work and discipline, definitely, whether you're doing technique or just working out.
And working out is exactly what members do in their twice-a-week, 2-hour practices. Senior Kimberly Maglino.
You learn a lot of cardio. The cardio can be very painful at times, but by the end of the year, you feel so much more fit than the beginning. You're like, yeah.
6, 7. Stretching, conditioning, and kicking are all essential elements of the art. Club instructor Austin Tortorisi says all 3 combined give members a unique life advantage.
It's a huge confidence builder to be able to just say, I can be safe if I'm going out and about, like even on Franklin Street or something like that.
Learning the proper footwork and rhythm of the art aren't the hardest parts, though. Tortorisi says one of the hardest things about learning Taekwondo is getting used to hitting things, and hitting them hard.
People have been taught, your whole life you're not supposed to hit, hitting's bad, whatever. But there is a time and a place for it, I guess, especially in something like a martial art, where the point is the original purpose was self-discipline and self-defense.
The 19-year-old club has techniques different from other martial arts, but many core values are the same.
We share a lot of the same values in terms of self-discipline, self-confidence, courtesy, respect, that sort of thing just is a common thread through all, especially Asian martial arts.
And the most common practice for this club? Welcoming anyone who wants to kick it with them. Reporting in Chapel Hill, I'm Delia D'Ambra.
Wow, Delia did really hit that pretty hard, huh? Well, that does it for this edition of Sports Extra.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.